back to the query if you delete it by accident?
You can.
You can edit all the queries in the data set.
Let's say you delete tomato, how do you add it back?
Restore? No.
What do you mean delete? Like you delete the tomato right here?
Once it's gone,
Oh,
right?
you're probably screwed.
Oh, great.
If you go to your sandwich on the left,
I'm
you
joking.
can drag it
Wait,
back.
let's go over here. Yes. There's my sandwich,
oh,
right?
form.
And
Oh,
actually,
thank
data sources. I probably could drag.
Because instead of doing a query, I kind of deleted the things and.
Now, this is the data sources. What's the other one? Yeah, no, that's the right. That's not the right one. Remember the one that lets you pick the control type?
That was on the right.
Isn't
Yeah.
that the silver one?
Yeah, it's not the Solution Explorer, which we seem to have two of. It is View. Anybody remember what it's called? Oh, maybe. I don't remember. But it's the same place that when you're, oh, there it is right there. Yeah, I guess it is the data sources. So did you think you could just drag them over here?
Well, in 2010 you can.
Oh, great.
We should upgrade. No, don't really, because then I can't open your project. I think though what you can do is you can go right-click on the table,
Yeah.
say Configure, and then make sure that tomato is in this list,
Okay.
and then say just next, next,
I did that.
finish. All right, well, don't delete tomato. Don't delete the name, just delete. But of course, just noticing we can have all these different tables, and notice that this one up here is the primary key. It has a tiny little golden key. I think that, yeah. Any other questions about the lab? Jan, did you have anything? I know you weren't yesterday. Okay.
Not right offhand.
All right. So what I want, just study that stuff and you'll be golden. What I want to talk about a little bit today, for about 25 minutes, is one of the first advanced topic in chapter 14 has to do with data validation. Now, one of the things that programs do which are considered more polished or professional is they perform advanced data validation. Now, up till now, if we had, let's say, a name and a text box for an address maybe, and then, let's call it name and SSN, how about that? If we have these particular fields on here, and we wanted, let's say, a save button and a cancel button, save, cancel. If we said that the user had to enter a name before they clicked save, how would we normally have validated that?
Try catch.
We could have done a try catch. We could have checked on save, like we could have said if the name was not blank. Then what did we usually, how did we notify the user?
Message box.
A message box, right. So the first topic in chapter 14 is using a control that moves beyond message boxes to notify the user when there's a problem with the form. I think this works with both Windows forms and web forms, but we don't use web forms. And so this particular control is called an error provider. Yep, an error provider. I've used these a little bit, but not a lot. Now notice when we drag it, we get it down here in the same place we get like our table adapters in our data set and things like that. So the way we can use, this is kind of cool, let's pretend we save. Instead of doing a message box, the data provider is really smart. You can tell it a couple of things and it will work in a really nice way. You can tell it the name of the control that had an error, and then you can tell it the message that you want to display, and instead of having to kind of give this really big, ugly message, here's what you can do. We can say, if txt, what did I call that? Text box 1, which was the name of this, which is a terrible name. We'll call it txt name. if txt name let's just pretend if it equals blank, okay? If it equals blank, that's bad.
What would be the text of?
Dot text, thank you. Then we can say error provider 1, which was the name of that object that I drag over here, dot set error, and we can pass in the name of the control, and then we can say the name cannot be blank. So now when we click save, look at that, isn't that cool? And you missed it. If you looked away, here, we'll do it again. Ready? Because it's really kind of nifty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, okay, that. So it blinks a few times, which gets you, notice we didn't have to like position it. We didn't have to tell it where it was at the X and Y coordinates.
You gave it the text box control so it knew where to start.
Right. And then when you hover over it, there's your little message, right? The name cannot be blank. Isn't that nifty? I think your users would like that much better than the kind of slap them in the head, bonk, the name cannot be blank. Because the other thing that happens is, let's pretend the validation, what if your validation is that the name cannot be blank and the SSN cannot be blank? If you have a message